Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to tonight's episode of Ghastly Creatures, the case of the Bouvier Blunder. Our story begins at the Bouvier estate in Connecticut, where Angela, the Bouvier's maid, has been tirelessly preparing an extravagant meal for an esteemed guest.
I'll get it. Miss Jasmine, it is another delivery for you.
Angela, what have I said about my orders? You bring them up to my room and then put them in the master closet.
Oui, Miss Jasmine, but there is so much.
If the stack isn't up to your neck, there's absolutely no excuse.
Oui, Miss Jasmine. Ma chérie, j'espère que c'est pour ton brosse.
Thank you, Angela.
Haven't you got enough Prada knockoffs, Jazz?
Just because you don't have any taste, Jude, doesn't mean your sister has to dress like a peasant.
Where's the money coming from?
None of your business.
You know, Jazz, if you need any help...
Oh, I don't need your help, especially after last time.
Oh, fair enough. You were a terrible window washer.
Screw you.
Language?
Mother dear, looking fabulous as always.
Well, thank you, Judy Boo Boo. Mwah, mwah. Now, remember, children, we're fortunate to have a very special guest this evening.
Oh, I bought new shoes just for the occasion.
Oh, Jasmine, I do wish you'd find another husband.
He sounds enchanting.
He's very distinguished and has won several awards. I'm excited for you to meet him.
Blanche, when can we have an indistinguished guest at dinner? I'm sick of wearing my damn cufflinks. Where are the old bastards anyway?
Here we are, Pop.
Hey.
Very funny.
Gerald, dear, your cufflinks are on the dresser.
No, they're not. It's the first place I checked.
Well, I can't help it if you're going blind. Angela,
Oui, madame.
assist my husband with his cufflinks.
Oui, madame. Monsieur Bouvier, please come with me.
I feel like I need a damn metal detector in this house.
Oh, oui, monsieur. It is like a maze.
Sometimes I feel like I'm living in a Baroquean coffin.
Oh, monsieur, don't say such terrible things.
Don't worry, Angela. You know what they say. Only the good die young.
Monsieur Bouvier, you are terrible, terrible.
Well, Mother, it's almost 6. I'll go freshen up.
Oh, do wear that silk bow tie, Judy. It's so handsome on you.
Oh, what should I wear, Mother?
Oh, nobody cares, Jasmine.
The antique grandfather clock is 5 minutes fast and releases 6 reverberating chimes, sending Mrs. Bouvier into a frenzy.
Everyone, it's 5:55. Places? Where is Gerald? Angela?
Oh, my apologies, madame. You see, we had a little difficulty with Monsieur Bouvier's cufflinks.
Damn irritating old bastards.
Don't you have another set, dear?
Couldn't find the damn box. Honestly, Blanche, do I have to wear these?
Well, I'd prefer if you didn't look like a plebeian.
You know what they say, kids. Happy wife, happy life.
Yes, Daddy.
Jazz, weren't you blonde not an hour ago?
Jude. Red is the new blonde.
Angela? Please answer the door.
Oh, good evening. I hope I am not too early.
Not at all, dear. Right on schedule. Mwah, mwah. Bouvier's, meet Jean-Claude, legendary fine arts dealer and gallery director from New York.
And the Bouvier family. How I've longed to meet all of you.
Can't believe we're that special.
Ah, well, yes, Mr. Bouvier, it is a pleasure. But your family has donated such a sum over the years to the gallery. We have you to thank for almost all of our collection.
We have?
Why, don't be silly, Gerald. You signed the checks.
I did.
He's so forgetful. Senior moments.
My dear Blanche, you don't look a day over 30.
Oh, Claude.
You've met before?
Oh, why, yes.
Only a few occasions. Arts events, fundraisers, the like.
Sure. Don't have patience for any of those things.
Regardless, on behalf of the gallery, we all thank you for your generosity.
On behalf of my wallet, you're welcome.
Why, Blanche, that is an enchanting necklace you're wearing. No doubt from your travels.
Oh, how you have a discerning eye. Yes, it is.
If my estimations are correct, it's from South America.
How right you are. I saw it on a little peddler stand in the street, and it was just too beautiful to ignore.
I can spot a true art enthusiast from a mile away.
A whole mile, huh?
Shall we adjourn to the dining room?
By all means.
As dinner concludes, Mrs. Bouvier dabs coyly at her ruby red lips, while Mr. Bouvier releases his belly from the stifling top button of his trousers.
Oh, what an impeccable dinner. Thank you, Angela.
Oh, you're welcome, monsieur.
Well, dinner's done. Better get my checkbook.
Oh, what? No, sir. That's not what this dinner was meant to be about.
It wasn't.
Why, no, dear. Jean-Claude was in town, and it posed a perfect opportunity to have him over to meet our family.
When my sister was in town, you wouldn't see her.
Oh, your sister's a bore. Dessert, anyone?
Oh, no, I don't think I could have another bite.
But, Claude, I've ordered macaroons from La Patisserie, straight from France.
Oh, you didn't!
Yes, straight from the little one in your neighborhood.
Oh, you remembered!
Where are you from, Jean-Claude?
I'm from La Marais.
Oh, and what brought you to New York?
Oh, well, I was brought up amongst arts and culture. I made a life of it. I came to New York when I was asked to run the gallery.
Real man's work.
Oh, Gerald, not everyone has to be an engineer like you, dear. Angela, serve the macaroons.
Oui, madame.
Oh, est-ce que tu parles français?
Oui, monsieur.
Oh, taisez-vous.
Oh.
Oh, Claude, don't waste your time talking to the help. Angela, the macaroons. Jean-Claude is always so sweet socializing with the lower classes.
Well, this is why I need you, to remind me of the finer things.
Hey, Pops, you feeling okay? You don't look so good.
It's just my acid reflux. Angela on my Tums.
Oui, monsieur.
Oh, why, these macaroons look delightful.
Oh, I had hoped they would.
Oh, you've always had the most lovely taste, Mother.
If only I could say the same, my dear.
They taste just like the ones we had when I was a child.
Oh, Claude, I'm thrilled.
Don't you want a macaroon, Pops?
Jude, I think I'll pass. Perhaps just some tea?
Oh, I'm straight away, monsieur.
I'm sorry. You're going to have to excuse me. I've got gas that could down an elephant.
Whew.
Then please lie down, Gerald, and spare us your hyperboles.
Angela, I'll take my tea in the study.
Oui, monsieur.
So, Jean-Claude, I can't help but notice how eclectic your fashion sense is.
Ah, well, when you're a Parisian in the States, you have a reputation to uphold.
Well, I think it suits you very well. Oh, maybe you'd like to join me on a shopping trip.
Get your own man, Jasmine. I'm sure there are many personal fashion designers here in Connecticut.
I would, Jasmine, but I'm afraid I'm swamped preparing for my next exhibition out of the country.
And where are you going?
Oh, Paris, near Montmartre, celebrating the work of Renoir.
It sounds so enchanting.
It would be, though my sweetest patron won't be there.
Unfortunately, Gerald needs me here, my dear.
Oh, I know, mon ami. I understand.
Though I will be with you in spirit.
Oh, a poor substitute.
Dear God, what is it now?
Madame, is Monsieur Bouvier?
Spit it out.
Oh, quelle journée terrible! Il est mort!
What? Oh my God! He's dead!
For God's sake, Jazz, you just let her fall.
Oh, she was gonna land on my Jimmy Choos.
Blanche!
It's all right. I'm all right. Oh, Gerald.
Mr. Bouvier's death came as a shock to many of his business associates. The investigation has continued for several weeks to the dismay of Mrs. Bouvier, whose patience has worn as thin as Angela's cheesecloth. To Mrs. Bouvier's relief, Jean-Claude and Jude have remained in town for emotional support and under direct orders from law enforcement.
Mind my vase, it's Ming porcelain.
Oh, ma'am, I'm sorry. I can't walk on eggshells while collecting evidence.
Evidence? My husband had a heart attack.
Please be sensitive, officer. This woman is in shock.
Oh, I guess sorry. I'll be more careful.
Officer Doran, any luck?
Here's the file with what we have so far.
Thank you.
Who the hell are you?
Here's my card.
Inspector Puppet.
It's pronounced poupée.
Oh. My apologies.
Inspector Poupée, you can't seriously be investigating.
Oh, I'm seriously investigating.
Now, I've had enough of this. Mrs. Bouvier, let's get some fresh air.
I'm afraid I can't let you do that.
And why not?
This man was involved with a variety of investors who have asked me to take a look into his untimely demise thoroughly.
And they take precedence over a woman's grief?
The truth takes precedence over most things, politicians and star athletes accepted.
Oh, unbelievable.
You are heartless.
Perhaps.
Jazz,
What?
your wig is a little off kilter.
Oh my God.
All right, now I need all of you into the dining room, and I'll conduct interviews in the sitting room.
Interviews?
Yes, now that you're all present, so I'll need your stories. Officer Doran, call me with your findings.
Yes, sir.
We can't seriously be investigated for a heart attack?
Miss Jasmine Bouvier, I'll speak to you first, privately. Miss Bouvier, your credit card history indicates incredible debt. How do you account for that?
I like Prada.
Yeah, let's see. Your records indicate you've been married twice. Oh, excuse me, thrice before.
So?
Don't you find that at all unusual?
It's the 21st century. Aren't like 50% of marriages, don't they end in divorce?
Yeah, perhaps, but your marriage has ended, shall we say, more gruesomely.
I'd appreciate some delicacy when it comes to my late husband's. Thank
Yeah,
you.
let's see. Joe Goodson, married 2012 to 2015, died while on a camping trip at the Oh Be Joyful campground. So witness yourself. Oh, and of course the mountain lion that ate him. Good.
Yeah.
Then there's Jeff Heckerson, married 2015 to 2017, died while swimming in Queensland, Australia, and our culprit is the venom of a box jellyfish. And finally, Jared Durango, married 2017, 2019, died, and this is my favorite, attempting to have breakfast in the bath at his own hands, hydroelectrocution, while reaching for his towel.
It's not my fault that he insisted on toaster strudel.
No, it's not, but it's also why I eat Pop-Tarts.
What does any of this have to do with Dad?
Well, you've been having some financial struggles, haven't you?
Yes, but it's
And
not.
didn't your father cut you off after your third marriage?
I've been working.
Yeah, so it would seem window washing, I see.
Yes.
Yes, but your bills indicate multiple purchases at an online store. Divine Wigs and Accessories. Why so many?
You know, it's a new trend.
I should tell my daughter. Might save me some money on her blowouts.
Well, not if you want a good one.
Exactly. Window washing doesn't seem to pay enough for a collection of fine wigs. Now, does it?
Well, don't make me say it.
Jude Bouvier, successful entrepreneur, retired at 30. Every man's dream.
Yep, I guess.
So how you been, Jude?
I've had better days.
I'm sure you have.
What's that supposed to mean?
Well, based on your Instagram account, you're living a rather lavish lifestyle.
Well, I'm a young millionaire. What's suspicious about that?
True, but you seem to be the defendant in at least, 30 lawsuits.
Well, greedy, jealous bastards. That's all.
It's quite a lot of lawyer fees, isn't it?
I'm well connected. I can afford to be sued.
Are you not the executor of your father's will?
What? Well, sure. But what's that got to do with anything? If I needed money, I could have just asked Dad.
And your mother?
All right, that's it, puppet. I'm not humoring this another minute.
Well, it's a perfectly reasonable question.
My mother is a darling woman. More of a mother than I've ever had. I will not hear or say a word against her, okay? I plead the fifth.
You're not on trial, Jude. You're free to go. Mrs. Bouvier, you've been married to Mr. Bouvier for 12 years.
Yes, 12 wonderful years until now.
You are his second wife, is that correct?
Yes, his first wife left him after his affair.
His affair with whom?
Not with me, obviously. Honestly, is stirring up the past really necessary at the moment? I'm grieving.
Jean-Claude, is he a close family friend?
Well, yes, of course.
You see, your son tells me this is the first time meeting. Now, how would that be considered a close family friend?
But Jude is a busy man. He rarely visits.
And he's your stepson?
I adore him so dearly. He honestly could have been my own blood.
Mrs. Bouvier, you're known as an avid traveler.
Well, yes, I'm a world traveler.
Oh, that's quite a necklace you're wearing. A gift from Mr. Bouvier.
Of course not. Gerald hasn't bought me jewelry since my wedding ring. Not to speak ill of the deceased, but he had terrible taste.
Oh, so it's from Jean-Claude then?
Honestly, this is ridiculous. Why haven't you interrogated Angela?
She's applying for citizenship, essentially a non-motive.
Are you saying I had a motive?
Now, let's get back to my questions.
I don't know what you're getting at. I don't have any authority over Gerald's will. I loved him and married him for that and that alone.
Forgive me, Mrs. Bouvier. I've seen I've upset you. Listen, I've got to keep you here a little longer per protocol.
How much longer?
You know, why don't we pass the time with a little pleasant chit-chat?
Pleasant.
So, tell me about your last trip.
I went to Peru.
Business or pleasure?
Both. Pleasure, mostly. I was curating indigenous art for Jean-Claude.
I see. He didn't come along then?
Jean-Claude is in New York most of the time. I only get to see him when he's traveling.
It must be frustrating to see a close friend so, inconsistently.
It is. He's the only man who understands me. He's got a zest for life.
Did you go to any museums while you were there?
Some, but you find the best pieces hidden away in spots untouched by tourists.
So is that where you bought your necklace?
Yes, it's beautiful, isn't it? I couldn't resist.
That'll suffice, Mrs. Bouvier. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, Inspector Poupée, it is my turn.
Jean-Claude, please come in.
I have to say, I am your biggest fan.
Is that so?
Oh, yes, Inspector. I couldn't say it out there, well, under the circumstances, but as a New Yorker, this is my chance to personally thank you.
Oh, well, your gratitude is accepted.
Oh, you have so many cases. Do you remember the case of the fraudulent art dealer?
I can recall almost every detail of my prior cases.
Well, he was really putting a damper on my business.
And your business?
Oh, I'm a gallery director and an art dealer.
I see.
See, when that man was at large, oh, you wouldn't believe how many fools were scrutinizing my hard-won collection. Patrons were scraping away at my works with their Q-tips. Oh,
how terrible.
Oh, it was such a headache. I have Mr. and Mrs. Bouvier to thank for a sizable donation to increase our security staff.
How long have you known Mrs. Bouvier?
Oh, years. Ever since my gallery opened in 2010.
I have to say, you two seem very close.
Oh, yes. She is a vivacious woman.
Indeed. Have you ever asked for her assistance in ways that were not monetary?
Oh, no. You see, we are very close, but she does not have an eye for real art. Oh, please don't tell her I said that.
I see.
She can appreciate art, but it's more as admiration, not true knowledge.
Were you aware that she went to South America to curate art for you?
Curate? No, Inspector. I wouldn't let her curate to save my life.
Interesting.
Well, Mrs. Bouvier always had to have a reason for her travel, sir, to justify the expense to her husband, Mr. Bouvier. Oof. In the last 2 years or so, he tightened his wallet. We have always been given generous donations. However, which tells me, in spite of his gruff exterior, he must have been a true lover of the arts at heart.
Does it?
Well, that is what I like to think. And the only other reason could be that he enjoyed getting her out of the house for a bit.
Did Mr. Bouvier know about your friendship with Mrs. Bouvier?
Well, perhaps. Honestly, I never met the man until dinner. The checks were always made out to the gallery. We are fortunate we had his generosity in our bourgeois years, but they helped us to become self-sufficient.
Okay, so you had no idea Mrs. Bouvier was going to South America?
Well, she had let me know that she was going on a trip, but we see each other only on exhibitions. Otherwise, we have difficulty keeping in touch.
All right, I'm going to just come out and ask you. Jean-Claude, are you having an affair with Mrs. Bouvier?
Oh, you Americans, still so Puritan with your labels. No, Inspector, we are not having an affair. Though I have shared her bed on occasion, it does not mean I wish to steal her from her husband. Frankly, I can only tolerate her for the length of one exhibition at a time.
So you have been romantic with Mrs. Bouvier?
Oh, Inspector, my love life is like my wardrobe, eclectic and never limited to just one piece. Huh?
Nice. So this latest exhibition back in France, I heard she was going to join you for that.
Yes, but sadly, Mr. Bouvier has become less independent, forgetful, moody, and he discontinued her travel budget. And she told me she had no choice.
And how did you feel about that?
Oh, somewhat disappointed, somewhat relieved. You see, I have a wife in France.
Monsieur Poupée, it is for you.
Thank you, Angela. Poupée speaking.
Poupée, new developments from forensics.
All right, what'd you find out, Doran?
It wasn't a heart attack. It was...
Ladies and gentlemen, I regret to inform you that your dear Mr. Gerald Bouvier was indeed murdered. It is, please. Officer Doran, wait by the door.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to share my findings with you all.
This is horrible.
Jasmine, you might want to sit down on those pumps.
What's the verdict? A disgruntled investor?
You could say that. As you know, first I interviewed Jasmine, our broke widow, seemingly adept at disguise, but lacking many management skills. Cut out of her inheritance after her third marriage ended in, let's call it a shock.
Oh.
Possible motive? To get her hands on Daddy's will, but as she and I both know, she's not even in Daddy's will. Encourage instead to find another benefactor in the form of a husband. Her obsession with her appearance, not an alias, but boldness. Miss Bouvier has been taking an experimental drug which causes anagen influvium, or untimely baldness. Miss Bouvier, please apply for work. Your system cannot handle more arsenic than an apple core. And I hate to see you, well, like Mr. Bouvier. Simply put, not our culprit, which moves me then on to Jude, or Judy Boo Boo, as the stepmother likes to call him.
She's my mother.
Not in the will, she's not. Your biological mother has been given a sizable portion of Mr. Bouvier's inheritance. Seems like an apology. But no, Jude, as you and I both know, not a penny's left to our current Mrs. Bouvier.
Get to the point.
Jude, you're the executor of the will, making you highest on the suspicion scale. And your lawsuits are enough to make any white-collar con blush. However, your wheelings and dealings has indeed got you a bargain on loyal fees. Your resourcefulness shows no inkling of needing to steal anybody's money, not illegally anyway. And with Jasmine cut out, your share of the inheritance doubled. It was only a matter of time before your millions became billions, and it seemed as though you could wait, which ruled you out for the most part, which leads me to your mother, Mrs. Bouvier II.
Unbelievable.
Mrs. Bouvier, you recently traveled to South America, Peru specifically, where you purchased that handmade necklace of yours. You were supposedly on a trip to curate art for Jean-Claude. However, he had no idea you had been to South America, let alone for his sake. You mentioned your travels had taken you beyond the traditional tourist spots and that you purchased your necklace from a peddler. But that's not all you purchased, is it?
It was Jean-Claude. Oh, you alluring Frenchman. I was coerced. I was.
Mother, what are you saying?
No, Mrs. Bouvier. The way I see it, you were heartbroken that Mr. Bouvier cut off your travel budget. He was getting in the way of your excursions. The only thing keeping you sane in an unhappy and now ungenerous marriage. You see, Mrs. Bouvier, Jean-Claude did not want you in France with him for fear you might meet his wife.
What?
I am sorry, Blanche, but you see, you Americans would never understand.
Batrachotoxin.
Huh?
Gesundheit.
No. Batrachotoxin. In minute portions, it's a transdermal lethal poison. This toxin is found on Mr. Bouvier's cufflinks. Over time of constant exposure, it killed him.
Mother, what is she talking about?
Batrachotoxin is famed for its use in South America tribal poison darts, a toxin derived from frogs. Works fast and mimics the effects of a heart attack.
Mother, why would you do this?
Jude, this is where you come in. As executor of the will, Mommy Dearest here thought you would take care of her and her snowbird needs. what with your own millions as it stands now and your sizable inheritance. As he grew older, Mr. Bouvier was not in good health, and a heart attack was a perfectly predictable mode of mortality. However, Mrs. Bouvier got impatient. Isn't that right, Mrs. Bouvier?
Oh, let carte blanche!
I want my lawyer! Get me my lawyer!
Oh.
Bouviers, excuse us, it's time for Mrs. Bouvier to see her new digs in county. Officer Duran, please do the honors.
Oh, my pleasure, sir.
I can't believe this! Angela, call my lawyer.
I could have touched those cufflinks.
Oh, Angela, I am relieved you didn't.
Oh, thank you, monsieur.
Might you have any more of those macaroons?
Oh,
This performance of Ghastly Creatures by Goodly Creatures Theater is performed for you tonight for the Family Service Association of Greater Elgin's annual fundraiser, Monster Mash. Please donate to this nonprofit whose mission is to strengthen individuals and families so that they can meet the challenges of modern life in positive and constructive ways, helping to prevent blunders like the Bouviers. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you and good night.